Good afternoon, everybody. So, people who are online, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So, please keep yourself muted. So, everybody, please keep yourself muted. Give me 1 more minute, please. Please save it. Good evening, everybody. So, let us start our lecture tonight. And I'm sorry that my microphone is out of charge. So, and I'm also tired, so I cannot speak loudly. So I will try my best. So, please give your attention, and everybody who is joining virtually online, please keep yourself muted. So before we start, let us see our schedule. So according to our schedule, so there is a reminder that our test 1 will be on September 14. Okay, so we have not decided yet how the test 1 will be executed, either in class or virtually. So we will decide and we will let you know by next week. And one thing that is confirmed that you will need your computer, your laptop, and with a webcam. So no matter from where you take the test, either in here or at home, you need a webcam. Okay, it is stated in the syllabus, so it is required. Okay, so and in our test, so we will cover module 1 to 3. Okay, so this week we will start module 3. So module 1 was review and module 2 was about reference parameters, static modifier, and array list. And module 3 will be inheritance and then private, public, protected members, and then overriding, casting, so those kinds of stuffs, and also polymorphism. So, sorry. Okay, so I will no test will be written. So practice writing program in programming languages. So maybe for a few 1 or 2 questions, we will allow you to write pseudocode, but for the most of the questions, you will not be allowed to write pseudocode. Okay, so you will see today, you will notice that writing pseudocode in class decoration in object-oriented programming takes a lot of write-up, writing. So we will concise it. I'm sorry, we'll concise it using actual program code. So according to our My screen was not showing. So our test one will be in the 14 or 15. I will let you know later. Please keep your eyes on the announcement. Okay, and in your test one, you will cover module 1, 2, and module 3 up to whatever we cover this week and next week. Okay, so this module today we will start module 3, advanced OOP, object oriented programming. So before I start advanced object oriented programming, so let us review. So let us do a Google search, so OOP, object oriented principles. So if we search for object oriented principles in any language, so you will see that these are the main principles of object oriented programming: abstraction, encapsulation, inheritance, polymorphism, association, aggregation, compositions. So these are the main principles of object oriented programming, but one thing they did not cover, actually, the class and object. Okay, so if I go to this website, okay, so these are the, if we see the 4 pillars of object oriented programming, we will see encapsulation, inheritance, abstraction, polymorphism. Okay, these are the 4 pillars of object oriented programming, and based on these, so beneath of this, class is the main pillar. The central point is class and object. Okay, so we are familiar with class, right? A class is a user defined or custom data type that contains some variables that we call field and some functions that we call method in order to access those variables. That is a class, a user defined data type, right? So that an instance of a class is called an object. We know that, right? And based on the foundation of class and object, so all other, these are the elements or main properties of object oriented programming. These lie on top of class and object. Okay, first of things, we are going to be familiar. You are familiar with some of this. Okay, for instance, abstraction and encapsulation. You already familiar with this. Maybe you did not hear the term. I will review it, and I will tell you what is the encapsulation and abstraction is happening. Okay, then today we will start inheritance, and then we will get encapsulation. Actually, we cover. Then we will discuss abstraction and polymorphism. Okay, so if you understand these 4 or 5 items clearly, then your programming life will be clear. You will be able to do any programming. You will learn any programming language. You will to do most of the assignments, and then okay. So please give your attention. And for today, maybe I like everybody, do not lose your attention for a single minute. Okay, every minute counts today. Yeah, so people who are in the front, please come forward and turn off your phone. I will give you a candy if you do not like my course, and then if you leave. Before you leave, then I will give a candy, okay? But as long as you stay here, you have to give focus. You have to give attention, okay? This is my policy. So let us open a program that maybe I discussed in the okay 1322 review Java. This is my GitHub project. Okay, so class and object. Why it is slow? Yeah, it is. How can I make it larger? Okay, this side, how can I make it larger? Okay. Okay. Okay, before I go there, let me see our official slides. So here we will start module 3, inheritance. Let us see what our slide says. Luckily, I know more than the slides. So sometimes I don't need to see the slides, but some students complain that I did not cover the slides. But sometimes I cover more than slides. Okay, so it is inheritance. Okay, inheritance is a technique, okay, or a process that is used to reuse an existing class. Okay, so for instance, we as a human being, we inherit properties from our parents, right? We inherit properties from our parents. Not only financial properties, we also inherit physical properties like maybe our hairstyle, our body style, okay, our skin color. We inherit from our maybe direct parent or grandparent or someone, right? Okay. So some of the properties we inherit directly, some of the properties we may need to inherit indirectly or somehow, right? Okay. So inheritance, it allows a class to absorb existing class members property. Okay. So like in that case, the existing class members properties do not reduce. For instance, if you have a candle, if you have a candle with light, right? And if you light one another 100 or 1,000 candles from that light, the original candle's light will not be reduced, right? Okay, same thing. It's not since it is not financial properties, so that will be reduced. So this properties is something like that. For instance, if we inherit some properties from an existing class, it will remain as is in the existing class, as well as we can reuse those properties in a new class. Also, we can redesign our new class with our own properties. For instance, we inherited some properties from our parents, right? And maybe we have some of our properties characteristics from our own, right? Okay. So inheritance, the main purpose of inheritance is to save time, reusability. That means we have a class designed that we can reuse that class without altering the existing class. Okay, then that will be good thing, right? In programming, that I have already, I do not rewrite those codes. I can easily use that code. Okay, for instance, in our last lecture, maybe I discussed with a dog class, right? I discussed with a class replete. Okay, a dog class I explained. Okay, then I discussed in C++ and C#, both same. Okay, C++ and Java both are same. Okay, so there are minor differences. If there is a difference, I will tell that. Okay, but for instance, let me open the C Java code. Okay, so we do not need this actually, x equal to 5 or hello world. Actually, we do not need this code. We just kept this in our last lecture. Okay, so what did we do in our last lecture? We declared a class, new class, right? Okay, so the like dog class, and dog class had its own properties like name, age, and weight. Okay, so we declared constructor. This is default constructor, and this is our loaded constructor we declared in last class, and we declare setter method for dog, and we declare setter method for all three fields: name, age, and weight. These are the three fields: name, age, and weight. And we declare getter method, and we overloaded the toString method, and then we created object, and we call the getter and setter method. Right? We discussed this in our last lecture. If you missed it, okay, so maybe sorry, that lecture was not recorded. Okay, this. So if I run this program, we got output, and then Java and C#. That was working. Okay, C# it is working, and in Java it is working. That's good. Okay. So here in my dog class, let us see our dog class. Okay, one thing that I want to for Java, I want to copy this code into Eclipse. It is better for me to show this in Eclipse. So I want to make a dog class. I want to make a new package, dog class, dog package maybe. Okay, dog package. So within the dog package, I'm putting my class, dog class. I just copied and paste over here. So in Java, you need to save a file with the public class name. So public is required, but in Eclipse, in Replit, we did not need public. So I just added public, and then okay. So this is my dog class. So far there is no error. That's good. And this is my class main until this. So I'm gonna paste it over here. So it is not dog, actually public. So this is my main class. Okay, so if I run, okay, I'm sorry. Public. If I run this, I will run the main class, and it will give me same output. Okay, so it is better for me to explain in Eclipse or Visual Studio, so I'm copying. Okay, so same program code. Okay, so because this ID has some interactive features. Okay, I want to show you where actually the one thing the encapsulation is implemented. Okay, first of all, before I, so you see that, so there is a way to say that, for instance, in my dog class, if I have some properties that is public, for instance this one, so for instance age, if any property is public, then there is a way that from another class, for instance I have my dog class over here, I have my main class, another class. Okay, so I can say, for instance, you say the dog d1 dot age. You see that age is private, so it is coming as age. Okay, so I can change it here, so I can access it here, say is equal to maybe 2 or whatever I want to do, I can do that. Okay, so this is so, but if this property is default, that means it is working in same class. Okay, so if there is nothing private or public over here, then this is called default. I will discuss default in our next lecture, maybe today or at the end of today, the day today or next lecture. So if it's a private, if a field is private, then it cannot be accessed. So here my name is private. You see that name is private. So from my another class, so I cannot say d1 dot name. So you see that d1 dot name is not accessible. So if I say d1 dot, then it does not show name. Does it show name? No, it does not show name because name is not a public property. Okay. So as we discussed, we have some of our properties that we do not like to disclose. For instance, our social security number. But somehow at some point you need to disclose that in a secure manner, secure way, right? For instance, when you came to take a admission here at QSA, maybe at some point you need to show, you are asked to show your social security number, right? You gave your social security number to an authorized person and you believed him or her that this is an authorized person, so you give her social security number, right? So that is a secure way. You disclose that, but in a secure way. So for instance, my name over here is private. Okay, so it cannot be accessed directly. So but it can be accessed, it needs whenever needed, but it can be accessed indirectly. So how can I access direct that name? So we say d1 dot, we have that get name. We have the get name or set name using getter and setter method. Using that we have set names, for instance. So if it's a set name equal to done or whatever we say. So this is the way that we use getter or setter method, okay, to access the private properties in secure manner, in a secure way. Okay, so that means the data in a class, okay, in an object, data are sometimes kept or made hidden. Okay, and there is a way that we use getter setter method to access those data. So in an object, all these data and functions or methods are encapsulated, binded together, okay, to protect from outside access. For instance, when you take some medication with capsule, there are some medication with capsule, and that are wrapped with plastic, right? You know that we sometimes we take medicine, some medication, the capsule. We usually do not eat any plastic, but whenever we take this medicine, we eat including the plastic, right? You remember that? But for instance, if you go to a store, a pharmacy, and if you buy some medication like capsule, like medication, and if you see that is broken, for instance, that is broken or leaked, you will not buy that, right? Will you buy that? With this kind of capsule? So the this concept, it has some medication chemical inside, but those are wrapped with some plastic or secured manner. So this is called encapsulated. Okay, the term came from this capsule. The encapsulation, this term came from this word encapsulated. That means data in a data of a class are binded or encapsulated together with this method. Okay, that will keep that secure. And data, there is another word that is called data hiding. So how data are hidden by making that private. Okay, so as we know that if you go to pharmacy and if you are given like some capsules like this broken, we will not buy it, right? We will not use it, right? Okay, so that means this ensures that this capsule ensures that it is secure and it is good. Similarly, when we write our program, so we make our class, so we ensure that our private member will be encapsulated. Our data will be encapsulated. Okay, so this is called data encapsulation. Okay, that the private members are kept hidden from site access. But somehow that are needed to access. How do we access them? How do we give them access? Through setter and getter method. You understand? That is called encapsulation. Anyone has any question about encapsulation? Okay, that is good. Okay, so now let us come to the another property that is called dog. So inheritance. We are discussing inheritance, right? So in our class, in our program, that we are discussing a dog class, right? So dog class, we give just some properties: name, age, and weight. So we know that a dog has many other properties, right? Beyond this name, age, and weight, it has other properties, maybe color, right? Okay, colors and the number of legs. In general, a dog has 4 legs, but maybe there are some dogs maybe have 3 legs or 5 legs. I have seen a leg dog that had 5 legs. That is an unusual, right? Okay. So, and other properties. So, what are the other properties that a dog has? Yes, it's breeding properties, and then it makes sound, barks, right? Okay, so then, okay, so dog is a class, right? By making dog, what we are doing here, we are creating a class, right? So on top of this dog class, there is an upper level class. What is a dog? Is an animal, right? Dog is an animal, and then maybe we can say that dog is a mammal or pet animal. Dog is a mammal, right? It gives milk to gives birth baby, right? So let us think that the dog is a subclass of mammal. So whatever, there are other mammals than dog. So there are some cats also mammals, right? Dog also mammals, and then maybe cows, and then goat, sheep. Those are also mammals, right? So what are the common properties of a mammal? So a mammal has like its temperature, maybe weight or IQ or color or something, right? So these are like 2 kind of properties. These are for data, holding data. Okay, and these are the function or action. Okay, a mammal eats, right? A mammal drinks, so it moves, it gives birth, right? And as a mammal, all dogs do this, right? So now think about a situation. We want to declare a number of pet animals. A dog is a pet animal, right? A dog is a pet animal. So for instance, we want to declare a class for a dog, a cat, a cow, a goat, something similar to this, okay? So all of these, since all of these are mammals, so all of these have these common properties. So instead of declaring
Excuse me, Professor. I don't think the online class can hear you.
Sorry. It was not unmuted. It was muted. Thank you so much. So every day, please, some people join in, and please let me know. Okay, sorry, it was muted. I didn't notice. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, please keep yourself muted. Thank you so much. Okay, so this is our mammal class. Okay, so instead, so mammal class is the top level class, and then dog class, cat class, cow class, goat class. These will be our subclasses.
Professor, your mic's muted again.
Accept me. Okay. Somehow it is going to be muted. I did not do it. I don't know who is working on it. Okay, so you know that one line making this, recording this video and publishing it is taking my extra time. It was not required. I'm trying to help you, so please be cooperative to me. Okay, do not interrupt me. Okay, somehow someone is accessing me. I don't know what is the issue. Okay, thank you for your attention. So I will do right click, then new, then class. Where is coming? Class other. Java, this is class, and then I will see mammal, right? This is my mammal class. Okay, so I got public class, mammal class. So in Eclipse, a class file should be saved as the same name of a public class. Okay, source code. So these are my, for instance, okay, so let us see our slides. What are the properties of a mammal class? So it has temp, weight, IQ, and fur color. Okay, so I can put temp. Okay, so these are the properties. Okay, so in your test, you will be given, you will be told that these are the properties. So you have to figure out the type. Okay, so temp, what is meant by temp? So we need to give a type. Okay. Fluid, right? Okay, so you can say fluid temp. That's it. And weight, you can say int, or you can say fluid, whatever you say, weight. Okay, say let us say int in pound. And IQ, how do we measure IQ? Maybe say 45 out of 100 or 10 out of 20, whatever you say, like int. Okay, int IQ. And color, it should be string, right? Okay. Okay, so it is showing error because weight and IQ are already defined here. Okay, so I don't need this too. I already have this. Why is it showing an error? Oh, okay, I saved it, then it is gone. Okay, so these are the properties, for instance, for now, for our mammal class. So for now, I have made some public and some this is default. Okay, so for now, let us make all public. Okay. So then what will happen if a class member is public, then it is inheritable to anywhere. It will be inheritable by any class, any other class. Okay. But if we do not make it inheritable, then we make it private. Okay, there are 4 levels of accessibility: private, public, protected, and default. Default is package level. You see that is package. It's package level. Okay. Accessible within the package. Okay, so these are the and it also has some methods, right? I'm getting too many notifications in my Teams app. So anyone please join in team and then let me know what are the issues. Okay. So in my mammal class, I have also these methods. Okay, so I need to declare this method. So you see the plus signs. Okay, the one thing that this minus signs means private, and this plus sign means public. So in block diagram, UML diagram, so whenever you see minus sign, that means this one is private, and plus sign, this one is public. Okay. Hello. Okay. So I need to make this so public it. Okay. For instance, say public void eat means a public void drink, and public void move, and public void give bath. Okay, so these are empty. Okay, so a method, what is the structure of a method? A method, this is the sign of a method, right? With the parentheses, a pair of parentheses, and this is the method body. For now, let us keep it empty. Okay, so then drink method is empty, and move method is empty, and give bath is empty. Okay, so now, so what do I have in my mammal class? Let us recap. It has 4 properties. Okay, and it has 4 functions. Okay, so let us make it according to our this decoration. Okay, so let us make some of these are private and some of these are public. So for instance, let us make actually some of these are public. So let us make the middle two is public. Okay, So then middle two is public and these two are private. This one is private and this one is private. Okay. For you see that there is a little yellow sign for the private properties, and you see that on the left side there's a little icon. That means these are not done yet. So these are warning messages. This says I have made this property, these and these, actually these two properties as private, but I have not set up getter and setter method. I have not declared getter and setter method. Okay, so the way to set a getter and setter method in Eclipse and some IDs is easy. Just do a write method. In the last lecture, I showed how to do that, how to write the code for getter and setter method. Let me do it auto. So if you do source, click on the right click and then source, you see that somewhere it says generate getter and setters. Then click over here and select for which you want to generate getter and setter. So it's currently it is set up for color, okay. For all fields you can generate getter and setter method. Okay, just select this and click generate, and you will see that a bunch of getter and setter methods are already generated. All of the getter and setter methods are already generated, okay, in one click. So this is the format of a getter method and this is the setter method. And as I told you that although getter method is generated first, it shows for alphabetical order Z comes before S. Okay, so but we need to use the setter method first to set up the value. Okay, and getter method is to get the values. So we have getter and setter method. These are the, so once we have getter and setter method, we will use this getter and setter method to access those fields. Now even if I have this private, no problem, or protected or public, no problem. Okay, so as I told you that if I make a field public, then it violates one of the important property of data hiding of object-oriented programming. So this is why all fields should make it private, should be made private. Okay, because otherwise, if you have, you will have some confidentiality, right? Privacy, right? If you make everything private, there is a risk of losing your property, right? Okay, so now, so we got Mammal. Okay, so for now, we have not declared the eat method of this, but for now, let us say sys out sit out. So for now, if we say Mammal, so that eat method. So whenever we see this message in our output, whenever we see this message, then we will believe that this message is coming from my Mammal class eat method. Okay, so for now, let us do something like this. And in our actual, if this is okay, this is in academia. There is a difference between academic, teaching, learning, and working in industry. So in academia, what we do, we will explain you the concept using some sample code. But in your industry, when you go to industry work, then you will see this eat method maybe 100 lines or 1,000 lines, this method. Okay, but we will teach you the concept. If you understand the concept over here, so then it is expected that you will be able to implement this eat method or drink method as needed. You understand? I have experience working in industry as a software engineer for several years. So I have seen that like 63 or to 70, 67,000 lines of code in one class file or in one project. Some of the class in single class we will have thousands lines of code. But if we understand the basic concept from here, it will be easy. Okay. For now, let us see that we will go in depth. We are heading step by step ahead. Okay. So please give attention. Okay. If you do not understand anything, raise your hand. I will repeat. Okay. So for now, let us say mammal drink class, and for instance, if we say mammal move, and if we say mammal give bath. Okay, so if we see this output, okay, so then we will believe that this is coming from my mammal class give bath method, right? Okay, so for now, whatever I have my mammal class. For now, it is an independent class. It is a top level class, okay? And so like this is my mammal class. And I want to inherit this mammal class by the dog class. Well, this is the symbol. You see the down to up arrow, down to down, bottom to up arrow is upside. Okay, so this is the inheritance symbol. Many people they do mistake. They will say the up to bottom arrow. That is a mistake. Okay, so if you give this error like if you give this error. If you give this arrow this way, okay, this is a mistake. Okay, this is not acceptable. Okay, the arrow goes from bottom to up. Okay, this is the inheritance symbol. Okay, that's good. Thank you. So what now we want to do? We want to inherit this mammal class in class properties into dog class. Okay, so how do we do that? It is very simple. Okay, it is very simple within dog class. Okay, so one thing that in a dog class we also have weight, right? So let us get rid of this weight class. We don't need weight field, okay? Because we got this field already. We have this field already in my mammal class, okay? So let me get rid of this, but I don't need this. So wherever I have weight, I will delete that line. So wherever I have weight for now, let me delete it because I don't need it. Because I will inherit this from. So you see that eclipse is the right, this is the red. So click on the red button. So that is this is an error place. Okay, so then it will take you to the error place, and then it will delete that one, and here also. So we don't need this word. Okay, now it is fine. So then how do I inherit my mammals properties in my dog class? Very simple. In Java, you will write extends, extends. Which class we want to extend? Mammal. Okay, and in C#, instead of writing extends, we will write this just colon sign. In some languages, we just write this colon. Okay, so okay. So when as soon as we extend this mammal class, then what happens? All of the inheritable properties. So what do I mean by inheritable properties? That are not private will be accessible from my dog class. Okay, that means a dog instance. That means the dog object will be able to access mammals property, mammal class property. So let us see how do we do that. Okay, so there see that I have my dog class as is just I added these two words. Okay, then extension is done. So then in my main class, okay, so in my main class previously we had dog object, right? D1, D2, D3 and D4, right? And for instance, for now let us create some new objects. For instance, mammal m1 equal to new mammal. Okay, let me do two more mammal m2 equal to and m3 equal to 3 mammals object. So now if we say what are the properties in the mammal class, remember that one is IQ, right? These are the IQ and temp. These are the public and weight and fur color. These are public, right? So remember these two. So in my main class, if I say M1 dot, you see that as soon as I say put dot operator, it is showing me int mammal, right? That means IQ M1 object has an IQ property that is integer type and that is defined in the mammal class. Okay, so if you say IQ equal to M1 dot IQ equal to, for instance, 70 out of 10, out of 100. Okay, so as I have this, now I can do with this whatever I need to do. For instance, I can print, I can do anything else, whatever I need. For instance, let me do it another. For instance, m2 dot IQ equal to maybe 80. Okay, so I can make average of this since these are integer type value, right? I can do any arithmetic operation on integer type value. I can compare which object has more IQ, which object has, which mammals has less IQ. Whatever I need to do, I can do. Okay, for instance, let me print it. For instance, if I can print it, then you should believe it that yes, I can do whatever I need. So I will see m1 dot IQ. So for m1 object, right? m1 object, m1 dot IQ, m1 dot IQ equal to m1 dot IQ, and I'm sorry. And for m2 object, so m2 dot IQ, m2 dot IQ. I'm sorry. So let us print for now. So if I see this output, then we should believe in something that okay, my program is working. Okay, we got it right. For m1 dot IQ equal to 70 and m2 dot IQ equal to 80, right? So since these are integer value, we could compare, we could make average or whatever we need, we could do it. Okay, now one thing we learned. Okay, so now let us see for D1 object. D1 is a dog, right? So let us see what are the other properties that D1 has. If I say D1 dot, let us see what are the other properties that D1 has. Can you please read it aloud from here? You can read it. What are the properties for D1? Top one is age, right? Age is type fluid. Where it is defined? In dog class itself, right? And the second one is IQ. What is the type? Integer. And where it is defined? Mammal class. Okay, so since dog class has inherited the mammal class, so it is inheriting the IQ property from mammal. Okay, then that means now I can set the dog IQ, D1's IQ equal to 50, maybe whatever I do. So as soon as there is no error over here, so that means you can do print or anything. Okay. So in academic teaching, we just go only this up to this part. That means as soon as there is no error here over here, so then you need to believe that we can do, since this is an integer variable, IQ as an integer variable. So anytime any operation we can do for integer variable, we can do D1 dot using that. Okay. Anyone has any questions so far? Now let us see more properties for D1. So if I say D1, if you say that D1, I want to check whether D1 has weight property or not. Can I say D1 dot weight? Can I say D1 dot weight? Everything we need to do in main method. Okay, these are the decoration that we need to do in main method. Okay, so if you say D1 dot, if you say okay D1 dot, you see that it does not have, what is the property, that weight? It does not have weight, but it should have set weight and get weight, because we declare getter and setter method for the mammal object, right? So you see that we got set weight method that takes an float type variable for weight, value for weight, and its return type is void, and it is declared in main mammal class. So if we say D1 dot set weight, for instance, this is a float type variable. If I say 5.5, so since it is float, I need to put a F. Otherwise, it will give an error. We need to put an F. Okay. Are you getting something? Okay. You need to give attention. Okay. So if you give attention, these are not that much hard. Okay. Now what else we should do? So you see that set the weight was made private in the mammal class. So since I did have setter method for weight, so I was able to access those weight. If I did not have this setter method, I would not be able to access this. You see that as soon as I delete the setter method, it is showing me error. That set method setter is not there. Let me get it back, and it's gone. Okay. Now let us see. Again, I'm back to M1 error. M1. So if I say M1 dot, so remember that for M1 mammal object, we did have some methods, properties. Okay, methods or functions. What are the methods in a mammal class? We did have beyond the getter and setter methods, except the getter and setter methods, we did have eat method, drink, and move and give birth method, right? For mammal. Okay, so we can access this method for the dog as well as for the mammal itself. Okay, so for the mammal, let us see the for mammal itself first. For the mammal, you say mammal M1 dot eat. It's a eat method. It is return type is void, and it is declared within mammal class. Okay, so if I do this, so let me do this at the last statement. So let me do this at the last statement here. Okay, so this one. So if I run this code, then it will show me mammal eat. That means whatever the method code we do have in mammal class it method, this code will be executed. Okay, so whenever we call m1 dot, okay, but everyone understand this one? Okay, so now can we have d1 dot it method? Can we have d1 dot it method? Okay, because d1 we know that our dog class inherits property from mammal, right? So for now, if I say d1 dot eat method, what it will do? It is giving me same thing that mammal eats. There is no change, right? For now, there is no change. Okay. So whatever a mammal eats, a dog also eats. But as we know that all mammals do not eat in the same way, right? Some mammal eats drink, that some mammal chew, and then some mammals eat different way, right? You have said, did you see that what is called in English? The cow or goat or sheep, they eat a lot of grass in daytime. Huh? And then when they sleep or take rest at night, they take that out, and they, what is that called in English? And they re-chew that. What is that called in English? Huh? Re? Huh? Okay. Regard. Okay. Yes. I'm sorry that I don't know the English. Okay. So that means all mammals do not eat in same way, right? A dog eats in his own way. A cat eats in own way. Okay. A cow eats in own way. Okay. So instead of having this in it method, so for instance, if we redefine this dog class, this it method, if we redefine this it method, or all of this method, for instance, let me say wall in my dog class, so let us go all the way end. Okay, then for instance, then whatever I redefine it, it will work that way. So how do I say, so this is a dog class, right? So let me put dog before. So as soon as I see this is dog, then I should believe in that it is coming from dog. Okay, and then how do we redefine that? That it is called, we need to override this method. Okay, in Java we write override annotation. It starts with @ sign and then we say override. Okay, so then we say override. So then as soon as I say override, then if I run this program, my main class, you see that it will show dog eat. I got it, dog eat. You see, this one. Okay, this is the concept is called overriding a method in a, so that means we are calling the eat method, right? We are calling the eat methods from different level of object class hierarchy, right? So whenever we are calling m1 dot eat, so it is executing the eat method declared in mammal class. Yes, the same method. You see that in mammal class, I have eat method. I have body this. This body can be 1 line, it can be 100 line, or it can be 1000 line. Okay. Yes. Yes. So what? However, I do, I inherited this class, but I redefined this. I redefined my own way. Okay. So this is called method overriding. Okay, this is called method overwriting. Sorry, I did mistake. Method overriding. Okay, so all of these methods are written over here. So here, in order to for all of the methods header line, I need to put override. So this is in Java syntax. Okay, in Java we write override. It's called annotation. You start with an @ sign and O is in uppercase. Okay, in C#, okay, this is in Java, and C#, I would write this way in Java, and I will go to C# soon. Okay, so in C#, there are some difference. I would write like this line, like this way: public void override this way. In C#, okay, so in C#, this is not an annotation. This override is a keyword. In C#, override is a keyword. Yes, yes. So it's difference. Okay. So in C#, we do not have override annotation, but we need to change this line. So this line will be public void override it, and then click save. Okay. Maybe I can put. So in C# it will be like this. Okay. So now, for instance, for all methods, I can redefine however needed. Understand? Clear? Okay. So let us recap whatever I learned so far. So what is an inheritance? An inheritance is a technique or a process through which an existing class can be reused. Okay. Or properties from an existing class can be transmitted or inherited, whatever you say, in a new class. You can, this is the definition, and you can expand it. Okay, so you can say a lot of lines, or then you can write an essay. For instance, whatever you say, that the properties of the parent class, the existing class is called the parent class or base class, and the new class is called child class or inherited class. Okay, and in that case, the properties for the base class or parent class remain unchanged, right? Like in that case, the parent class is like a candle. The candle with light. You have a candle with light, with some light, and then if you light another 1,000 candles from this candle, the light will not be reduced, right? So in general, so this is a good technique of program development. So what are the advantages of inheritance? First of all, it makes our program code clear and concise, right? So otherwise, if I did not have these inheritance properties, then what I need to do? I needed to write all of this code for my inside my dog class. Now, for instance, I have dog class. I can create many other mammal class. Like, what are the other mammal classes? We see the subclass of the. I can write cat. The cat can inherit a mammal class, or a cow, or a goat, or sheep, elephant, whatever you have. Right? Also, this level I can make maybe another other subclasses of dog. In this case, dog is a subclass. Okay. In that case, maybe I can make the dog class as a parent class, and then I can make another child class of dog class. Maybe some dogs are wild dog, right? Some dogs are pet dog, right? So I can say wild dog, pet dog, right? Wild cat, pet cat. So many others. So in that case, so this is maybe dog will be maybe my, for instance, if I have another class over here. So for instance, if I have, so if I have another class, so I have other classes, maybe pet dog, wild dog, so in that case, my dog class is child class, this is parent class, and this is grandparent class. Okay. So in that case, this is maybe father, this is child, this is father, and this is grandfather. There may have multiple levels of hierarchy. Okay. How many minutes I do have? 1 minute only? Time is over, right? Oh, I'm sorry. Today I was slow. Okay. But, okay, I like everybody to practice this. Up to this, whatever I discuss, if you understand this, okay, in our next lecture, you will see that we will go through very fast, quickly. Okay. So in our next lecture, we will show that how can we extend or these classes in more in general. Okay, and then we will also discuss other things. Okay, how many slides we do have? Hopefully, we will complete in our next lecture.
Question about the quiz. Is there like an answer key that we see?
Let me give me 1 second.